Hey everybody, Bob DiGiacomo, Intentional Growth Coaching, coming to you on this April the 29th. This is the 29th day of our journey. That means one more day left on this 30-day journey. And as mentioned, I'm hoping that this becomes contagious with you, that each and every day will be looked at by you as a day to Carpe Diem. And with that, today's topic is all about perspective. It's all about perspective. In fact, I'm going to start off by apologizing for yesterday's video because somebody actually said, "Where were you? I couldn't see you very well." And yes, it's all about perspective because based on having to shelter in place, I have to go where there's light, and I didn't have too much light yesterday, and the wind was blowing. In fact, the wind is blowing even stronger today. Thus, I'm in a different location, and hopefully the light is enough, but it's all about perspective. And I'm putting a picture up right now because it is all about perspective. In fact, I want to tell you that the law of physics says that it is impossible for the hummingbird to fly. Clearly, nobody told the hummingbird. And so I'm asking you today to go beyond what you may feel is possible into the realm of what's almost impossible, because there is nothing impossible. In fact, the Latin, nil sine Deo, nothing is impossible with God. And I want to draw a little bit of perspective. It was back in 2003, on September the 5th, when we had our butts literally kicked by a massive, massive hurricane. And it was called Fabian back then. And although it's very calm and serene here, I want to read to you a statement. When you stop worrying about the things you haven't got, then you can start enjoying the things you do. It's all about perspective. And so today I want to focus on the things that I haven't got. There's a lot of things out there that I haven't got, but that allows me to focus on the things that I do have. I woke up this morning, I have my health, 60 is the new 40, I've got a great family, I'm here able to speak to you on any given day because of the way I've worked out the rest of my life. I'm here to be able to show you that I've got this calm, serene, beautiful scene behind me. Am I going to focus on the things I haven't got? Well, I haven't got the most awesome cars. I haven't got an airplane to fly around in. I haven't got bullions upon bullions of gold. But there's more to it than what you haven't got. And that's where perspective comes in. How's your perspective doing today? Are you focusing on the things you haven't got? Now, mind you, it's okay to dream and work towards getting some things that you haven't got. But take the time, perspective-wise, to focus on what you do have. You probably have a lot more than you think you do. And back in 2003, when we had our tails kicked and there was loss of life, and if you look at this South Shore behind me, you can appreciate that the storm surge was so great that those 4 people just a few miles up the road were carried away, never to be seen again. That I just literally drove over some road that had been totally washed away. Focus on the things that you have got today. Focus on your perspective and see if you see things differently. That's my message for today. Bob DiGiacomo, Bermuda Bob Leadership and Intentional Growth Coaching. I hope you enjoyed today's view. And just to enhance today's view, let me give you a little bit more of it. Quite beautiful, quite serene, and perspective-wise, it's where it's at. Until next time, all the best. So I posted that video, and I want to put the hummingbird back up for you. Just I want to read to you something, and it's really, really powerful. I read this morning. I got permission to repost this. So I read this morning, and I started to think of my relatives who came over on the boat during the great immigration period in the early 1900s, and thinking of my grandparents and my parents who went through all of what I'm about to read you. And a bunch of us who are part of the baby boomers can take credit for having lived in 2 centuries. Some of you are on your first century. But let me read to you, because it is about perspective, and it is about focusing on things so that what we're going through right now you can look at and take a little differently. So let me read to you. For a small amount of perspective at this moment, imagine you were born in 1900. On your 14th birthday, World War I starts and ends on your 18th birthday. 22 million people perish in that war. Later in the year, a Spanish flu epidemic hits the planet and runs until your 20th birthday. 50 million people die from it in those 2 years. Yes, 50 million. On your 29th birthday, the Great Depression begins. Unemployment hits 25%. The world GDP drops 27%. That runs until you are 33. The country nearly collapses along with the world economy. When you turn 39, World War II starts. Between your 39th and 45th birthdays, you have World War II. 75 million people perish in that war. At 50, the Korean War starts. 5 million perish. At 55, there's the Vietnam War, and it doesn't end for 20 years. 4 more million people perish in that conflict. On your 62nd birthday, you have the Cuban Missile Crisis, a tipping point in the Cold War. Life on our planet as we know it should have ended. Great leaders prevented that from happening. When you turn 75, the Vietnam War finally ends. Think of everyone on the planet that were born in 1900. How do you survive all that? When you were a kid in 1985, so I'm speaking to the fact that you think that you're 85 years old now, that your grandparent understood how hard school was. In other words, think of you guys complaining when you guys were younger as to the fact as to how hard it was and is for you. And yet, everybody that I just referred to either didn't survive or survived. And chances are, because you're here hearing and listening to this, that you survived because they survived. It truly is all about perspective and how we lean into things and how we take everything that's going on. So my video is a little long today, but I wanted you to carpe the diem based upon some perspective. Take each day as the day that you've been given. Remember, the gift, that is the present. The present, that is your gift. So until next time, we'll be back tomorrow for day 30 of its Carpe Diem month. And I'll look forward to being with you guys. All the best. God bless.